Today's a big day, isn't it?
Why is it a big day, Joe? Tell me.
Because today is the day that Josh has had his haircut.
What do you think?
I love it.
Do you like it?
I love it. I tell you what, I saw some comments on the last video about your beard.
What
Well, it's got to be. They didn't actually specify whose it was about, but
wasn't about
I don't
yours.
think they're talking about me.
The Manscaped has been working pretty well on that beard.
Bloody love Manscaped. What do you ask for when you go to the barbers?
I go 2 on the sides and the back, and then just a little trim up top. And I have to say like that much.
Yeah.
You know.
Party
Usual
in
measurement.
the sides and the back, business on the top.
Yeah, exactly that.
Nice.
Yeah. What do you say? You don't say anything because you
I
just
actually
knows.
don't say anything.
Yeah.
I just get in the chair and just talk a load of bollocks.
Do you think it's fair that barbers charge more for a skin fade than just a normal cut? Because I don't think that's fair.
Not really.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, you could go to the barbers and I could get a haircut for like tenner.
Yeah.
And I'm not even on about like kid. I'm on about teenager, probably until I was like 18, tenner for a haircut.
Yeah.
And now it's just like you got to fucking remortgage your house.
Now it's facial, you know. Head massage, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, hand massage. Yeah. Have you ever had...
Wait, hold on. Are you on about my massages or my haircuts?
Have you ever had your ears flamed?
No.
Turkish barber vibe.
I haven't. No. God, hate the Turkish. I'm joking. Yeah. My daughter is, what, quarter Turkish?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. So.
I've had the ears flamed. And it's fucking lovely.
Really?
It feels great.
Oh.
Yeah, a bit scary when they do it for the first time.
Should we go and do it together?
Yeah, let's go and do it
camera?
together. Yeah.
Let's do it. Speaking of putting someone through the flames, that is exactly what I would like us to do to Brighton and Hove Albion tomorrow night at the Amex. Is it still called the Amex?
Chelsea, do you mean Chelsea B?
Chelsea B. Yeah, Chelsea B.
Chelsea
team,
versus Chelsea B tomorrow. Yeah, big game. Yeah, it's still called the Amex. Yeah, I actually drove past it recently. It's sort of on the top of a hill. It's sort of castle-like.
Is it on the top of the hill or is it on the bottom of the hill?
Well, it's on the top of the hill, but the team might not be on the top of the hill.
Because when I drove past it, I drove from the hill down and I was like, oh, yeah, look. And then I was like, oh, it's Brighton's ground.
Yeah. I think it's quite a nice ground, actually. Don't mind it. Don't mind it.
So who doesn't think it's a nice ground?
Todd Bailey.
Cucurella, couldn't wait to get out of there. Tell you who else doesn't think it's a nice ground? Graham Potter, couldn't wait to get out of there.
Yeah.
Oh, mate,
I was looking at it, how many staff
Moises Caicedo, couldn't wait to get out of there. Sorry, go on.
Keep going.
Go on, keep going.
11 members of staff.
Neil Mopai, couldn't wait to get out of there. Sorry, go on.
God, Mopai, yeah, fucking hell, he loves it, doesn't he? 11 players or staff members that we've had in Brighton since the Todd Bailey era.
Really?
Quite a few.
11?
11, yeah.
Who are the other players? Let's go back.
Players and staff, I said.
Yeah, but are there any other players? Like
Sanchez.
I can't think of Sanchez.
Yeah.
Forgot about him.
Yeah, but then it's all staff members.
God,
so
he can't get a looking for love nor money, can he?
He can't. No. But you got Potter, Billy Reid, Hamburg, Salter, Ben Roberts, Carl McCauley, Paul Winstanley.
Winstanley, yeah. No.
And then now,
well.
Sam Jewell is also joined. Son of...
Full Joe.
Yeah.
He had a good spell at Wigan, didn't he?
He
well,
did.
Was it a good spell? Yeah, he had a spell there. He definitely had a spell there. We won't need any spells or any magic to get rid of Brighton because we're good. They're shit.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next one. No,
Been pleasure.
No, seriously, what do you think of Brighton? Because I'll start. I think they've been underwhelming this season, but then I have to ask myself: had they been underwhelming, or did they set a ridiculously high benchmark if you're sort of going pound for pound? Because like you look at last season, yeah, mate, after 36 games last season, they conceded less goals, scored a lot more goals, 5 more wins to their name, and 11 more points in the table.
Yeah.
You lose McAllister and Caicedo, and does that dip 11 points less maybe not look as bad when you take into account the players they lost?
That injury room is massive, isn't it? You have to say those 2 players for them were pretty much essential for their
Game
team.
changers.
And you look at the way that they've replaced them with the centre midfielders they have. And I think they've had a few signings that have been fairly underwhelming. They've got a few signings that are young that could still improve. But for me, if you're looking at their squad and their squad management, they need to get some players in the centre mid areas. Like you look at Lallana, who's just said he's going to be leaving the club. They've still got James Milner there. Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, I do think they need to strengthen them.
To be leaving the earth soon, let alone the fucking club. We're about 90.
Fucking hell. It's good
Jack,
to have them
we like
around,
them.
though,
They're
isn't
good
it?
lads.
Yeah, they are. Very
Great
good
lads. Great lads. Milne dog. Yeah, I get that. Maybe I'm a little bit harsh on Brighton. I think, like, it's weird. Do you feel this game is almost like a bit of a derby?
It does feel like that now, doesn't it? It does, because of the connection that we've got with them. And do you know what? They definitely do hate us.
I was going to say, where does the dislike come from? Because I don't really dislike Brighton. I sort of nothing Brighton. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, they fucking hate us.
I don't dislike them at all. But do you know what? There were press clippings of their CEO saying some rather derogatory comments about us.
What did he say?
Well, basically saying that he'd taken us for a bit of a ride and gloating about how much money he's brought in. It wasn't really necessarily just about us, but it was a sort of like, we've taken a lot of Premier League clubs. For a joke, for a ride.
So when they eventually inevitably get relegated, he can then say, "Yeah, we took the Premiership for a ride, though, because look at the parachute payments." So.
He's definitely gloated in the past and been like, we're such a well-run club, we do things properly, we have a low wage bill, but we still compete at the top end of the league. And do you know what, until this season he was correct in that. But I don't know whether it's just like the midfield gap or whether it's European football. You have to say the impact of European football definitely has a toll on squads. They've got a relatively small squad. And so, yeah, mate, you can understand why there is some rivalry there. The fans definitely don't like us. The board definitely don't like us. And then I do think there is an element of the playing staff where they're a bit like, they're not, or maybe they're jealous. That's the first thing. They haven't got the big moves. But they also look at players like... Yeah.
Awful trait to have.
Yeah, jealousy. And then you look at Moises Caicedo and now he is coming good. Is he better than he was at Brighton, is the question.
Probably. Probably.
I think he is now.
Because at Chelsea, if you lose 2 games on the bounce, it's God. I feel like topping myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a big deal. You can go a month without a win at Brighton and it's not, there's not a magnifying glass put on it. So I would actually say that there would have been games when Moises Caicedo maybe didn't perform to the same sort of level. Like, maybe it would have gone under the radar a little bit. Bigger club, more eyeballs, more on it like that. But Moises Caicedo is a man that I've been very, very impressed by. What about that assist to Reece James?
Unreal. The assist.
Yeah, I love the assist.
I love the assist to Sterling and how he got credited for an assist for that goal because it was literally like a pass out wide and Sterling did all the hard work.
They all count.
They all do. But there was a really good camera angle, and you have to find this, mate. There was a really good camera angle on Chelsea Unseen, which was sort of like the ball sort of over the top. It followed the pace that it went to Reece James because that was he did smack the ball over the top, and then Reece James whips that ball in. It was just ridiculous how much we've missed him. But Moises is far. I think we have to give him a bit of flowers, mate. I think we haven't throughout the season been able to sort of say he's been this good, but he's been excellent. And
he's brilliant.
We're lucky to have him.
He's brilliant. And we were having this discussion on the kickoff yesterday, man. Like, we were talking about underrated players for this season. And I had a few suggestions that I sort of put in there as being underrated. Obviously, Dominic Solanke. He was one of them. He's going to finish on, 20 goals.
Yeah.
He'd be well above 20 goals and assists, you'd imagine. I don't know how many assists he's got, but he's going to finish the season on 20 goals. And I think in his first 42 games for Bournemouth, bearing in mind some of them would have been in the Championship, I'm guessing, after he was brought in for about 20 million or something from Liverpool. I think he scored 3 in his first 42. So to have 20 goals this season, I think is prolific, and I think that goes under the radar.
Is he a late bloomer?
Do you know what I'd say about Solanke? He looks to me like he owes all of his success to the sort of grassroots academy training he would have had. What academy did he come from?
Do you know what? It's difficult to say because he's been at quite a few clubs, hasn't he?
Yeah, let me look. Let me just look on it. Oh,
fuck's sake.
That backfired. Chelsea Academy.
It's Cobham, isn't it?
It is Cobham. I didn't want to be smug about that at all, Oh, God. Maybe we'll have to rethink it. But no, Jarrod Bowen was another one that I said possibly underrated. But the most underrated, in my opinion, is Moises Caicedo.
Totally.
Because people aren't talking about what a difference maker this guy's been. And, I think that it's a very easy narrative to run with that Chelsea have spent all this money on their midfield and neither are any good and whatever. And it's like, mate, Moises Caicedo, he's been very, very consistent, and you could probably highlight a few shaky moments. You could probably highlight a few passages of play where he's underwhelmed ever so slightly. But like we always say, it's the fucking hospital passes after time.
And it's not just the passes. I also do feel that there's a bit of a dereliction of duty by some of the other midfielders that we've seen at the start of the season, where they basically left him completely isolated. And do you know what? Maybe this is why Pochettino did the tactical innovation that he did about the switch and inverting Cucurella. Because he saw that Caicedo was so often isolated. And actually putting Cucurella in there, who positionally wants to defend more than he wants to attack, like it does make sense. And we've seen that Caicedo has put in some of his best performances this season with having some support. Gallagher is always going to go up and down. That's Gallagher's game. And also Enzo also felt like he does want to attack. There's always a bit of a folly of youth, really, where he just sort of wants to attack and attack and attack. And they just leave Caicedo by himself. And I do think that's the main reason why Caicedo was sort of put down at the start of the season.
Can I ask you a question, right? Cucurella came good within time. I would say he's come good now. We agree?
I totally agree with that. 100%.
He's come good.
He's our best left back.
Yeah, he's come good.
One of our best centre mids.
So Cucurella came good within time. Moises Caicedo came good within time. Would Graham Potter have come good if given time?
I would love to do almost like a full episode on this, a sliding doors moment about what would happen in this season and then going forward with Potter coming in. I do regret sometimes looking back on it what happened with Graham Potter, and I do think that Graham Potter will prove our fan base and our board wrong eventually, because I do feel he'll be given a chance at a top club, and I feel at the next top club, if he's got a decent board, and I'm thinking mainly about Man United here because we know the Man United board previously has been a bit of a car crash. Now with Ineos, maybe they're a bit smarter, but I feel like if he gets that opportunity again, I feel like he does deserve it. I think he'll prove us all wrong. As I say, I really do think he's that good.
He's waited a while, hasn't he?
I understand why he's waiting, though, because he's waiting for the best opportunity for him. I think he could have gone into a basket case club. Maybe
Mate, he turned down Ajax.
I don't know if he turned it down. Apparently the wages were an issue with Ajax.
What, he thought he should be getting paid more?
Yes.
Surely they offered him more than he was getting paid at Brighton.
They don't. No, in Holland they don't offer you that much money. Not in comparison, mate. The Premier League is way far advanced than Holland.
Holland's only good for a few things.
List them.
Probably shouldn't say one of them. Probably shouldn't say the other one. Do you know what? Probably. Should we
just leave it to Arjen Robben and that's it?
Oh my God, how did we forget him?
I know.
Said about Dutch wingers. We didn't even think about Arjen Robben. Oh my God.
We didn't have that much time with Arjen in our team though, did we? He was a sort of a very kiss me quick player, wasn't he?
Oh, well, I'd let him kiss me long and hard.
yeah.
Great player. Great player. Very unlucky when it comes to a real problem within society nowadays, and that is male pattern baldness.
Oh God, it was gutting. That was pre-hair transplants as well. Mate, he really suffered with that.
He had his hair gone before he was 20.
20, yeah. That was a poor one.
Yeah,
that was a very poor one.
Yeah.
Going back to Potter, can I ask you, where do you feel he ends up, and what do you think he's going to do in his career now?
Do you want me to be honest?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, not bothered.
But do you think he will come good and be a top 6 manager again?
No.
Wow.
No, probably not.
What's his next gig?
I always think Brighton makes you look better than you are.
What's his next gig?
Like, can we just on this, right? Brighton have lost their 2 best players this summer, yeah? And you see the 11-point drop-off, right?
Yeah.
That drop-off is because the recruitment at Brighton throughout the years has been so good. The job that Tony Bloom's done there, the infrastructure within the club. I believe that Brighton are a club that, unless, something goes horrendously wrong, they'll make any manager look good. At the time, like our expectations change for a club, but at the time, I remember thinking Chris Shuton had done a brilliant job at Brighton. At the time, I remember thinking Graham Potter had done a brilliant job at Brighton. Last season, I remember thinking De Zerbi had done a brilliant job. What I'm saying is, like, the infrastructure is there to be successful. I actually believe that the job, and I get it, my opinion on this has changed throughout the season, but ultimately I will always dial back to the point, if the team's not being consistent, how can I be expected to be held accountable for not being consistent in my views a lot of the time? But what I would say is I think that the job that Mauricio Pochettino has done this season is probably a more impressive job than I think Graham Potter did at Brighton. And people will laugh at that. People will rubbish that the second they hear me say it, 'cause they go, hold on, Mauricio Pochettino has got a squad that spent, or £1 billion squad, more or less, and he's got them sat in 7th in the league. How is that more impressive than having a squad with the payroll, the wage budget that Brighton had, having a squad with the small names? Let's be honest, no one knew who Caicedo was. No one even knew who McAllister was, really. Do you know what I mean? But for me, I just think that the harmony and the infrastructure of a club is a huge, huge thing. The club alone, look, you can have the biggest club in football like a Manchester United. The infrastructure's shit. The team plays shit. The infrastructure is really, really important. So I'm not diminishing Graham Potter's achievements, but let's have it this way, right? This is my sort of my counter to it. Do you think that you could say the same for David Moyes? Do you think that David Moyes will prove West Ham wrong because he'll be a massive success at a Big Six club? Big Six, not he'll be a success somewhere. Big Six club.
That time's gone for Moisey, hasn't it?
Well, I think Potter's the same. I think that if you had stuck David Moyes in for the 2 years that Potter was in there, similar results. The infrastructure, the recruitment, the responsibility management that allows a manager to be a manager, or a coach to be a coach, so to speak. I think having those things at a club can often make a manager's performance at a club look a little bit better. Harsh?
I think it is harsh. So what you're saying is he won't get a top 6 job again. That's basically that is what you're saying.
Yeah, but okay. But if you're talking top 6 and you say Man United, okay, you can use that possibility. But is it not a head scratcher to everyone if he gets that job? Despite us going, do you know what? He could go in there and be half decent. And I do. I think he could go in there and do better than Ten Hag's done. But what I'm saying is, even if he was given that job, I think that now everyone's starting to be conditioned because we're hearing Potter, Southgate, Tuchel. Do you know what I mean? So we've already heard the names. But let's be honest. Name another top 6 club. I think if Graham Potter tomorrow, if Slot weren't going there and he walked into Liverpool, you'd be shocked, wouldn't you?
I'd be shocked. But do you know what? I was just thinking, as Liverpool as a club, I feel like Potter could do quite a good job there. Like if you look at the sort of the transition they're going to have to do to get rid of some of the Galacticos and bring in some new players and make them better, and you look at the signings that Liverpool are looking to make, we heard about Liverpool and Bowen. We heard about Liverpool and some of those sort of like that rung below Premier League and then sort of taking a step up, right? We've heard about them doing those sort of transfers. I think Potter would be quite good for that. And I think while it's not a sexy name and while he doesn't have the high reputation of other managers,
Potter's sexy.
Oh, that is is it? Am I completely off the mark there? That's a sexy name.
You're saying to me that you don't think Graham is a sexy name?
I mean, how many babies were born this year called Graham?
Oh, what, that I fathered or just in general?
Yeah, that you fathered, at least 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Yeah,
Graham, yeah.
I do think...
We used to have a man, there'll be a few Epsom listeners here. If you're from Epsom, there's only one Graham ever, and that is Flip Flop Graham.
Tell me the story of Flip Flop Graham.
Flip Flop Graham, he was, looking back now, he was not right in the head at all. He's not with us anymore, Flip Flop Graham. But yeah, he just used to like chase us round and shout "sod off" at us, really high pitch. Sod off!
Did he wear flip flops or?
Yeah, Flip Flop Graham.
Okay,
yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, funny
Did
that
he throw them at you?
we used to call him Flip Flop Graham, but a lot of the time he was just barefoot, especially towards the end. So yeah. Don't worry about Graham. Anyway.
Rest in peace.
Graham's not the sexiest of names.
No.
But,
I'm sure he owns a few pairs of flip-flops himself. Maybe he has flip-flopped in his career.
I tell you what, he had that haircut when he came into Chelsea.
Mate, when he had the glow up at Chelsea, that was a wonderful moment, actually. I loved that. Seeing him in the Champions League in that suit. He looked good. He smashed
it. And he was decent in the Champions League.
Mate, he was good.
Record-wise, he was decent in the Champions League. So I was there. First match. It was his first match as Chelsea manager. I think we played... Not Strasbourg, that's who we...
Salzburg.
Salzburg, yeah. I think we played them. I think it was a 0-0 draw.
By the way. That was their all-silver kit, Salzburg.
Was it?
That was nice. I rated that.
Can't think of any silver kits.
Black and silver, what about that one? Chelsea.
Yeah. Oh, lovely.
That was a good one.
Kesman, bad boy.
Yeah.
We have got a video where we're going to be doing a tier list, yeah?
I can't wait for this.
Tier list of Chelsea kits. It's going to be out this week. Keep your eyes peeled for that one. Yeah, and then AC Milan, 3-0 at home. Do you remember? That was under Potter. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Can you tell me who scored?
Wasn't Cucurella, no.
No.
I can't think. Tell me.
Captain. Well, he
Captain
wasn't
on the
captain at
day.
the time. No, it wasn't at the time. Reece.
Was it Reece then?
Reece
Yeah.
scored. A club legend. Only played about a season for us, but an absolute club legend.
Club legends, only
Yeah.
a season for us.
Yeah,
Can't think
yeah.
of it.
Club
Tell me.
legend for us and for Arsenal.
Zachariah.
No, he played that
he was a
match.
club
He had a good
legend.
game.
Yeah.
No, Aubameyang.
Aubameyang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When do you reckon we get an Aubameyang statue outside Stamford
Oh,
Bridge?
mate, it's got to come soon.
It's
He's had a
coming.
bit of a glow up as well. Have you seen him play for Marseille? He's definitely had the hair transplant.
I don't watch
He's
French league.
he's definitely had the hair transplant.
Really?
Bless him. Yeah,
Has
he
he?
looks good. He looks very good.
Nice.
He's on good form. He scored a lot of goals this year in France.
Yeah, well, listen, you look good, you feel good, you play good. So
Simple as that. High,
there you
wide,
go.
and not at all handsome. Or
there
maybe
you
he is
go.
handsome
There you
these
go.
days.
Do you know what? Thinking of Brighton as well, right? While we're on the topic, we're not in their good books.
No.
Unless we're on about the finance books, then we very much should be in
I mean,
their
to
good
be
books,
fair, we
but-
are in their good books because we've basically funded their club for the last 3 or 4
yeah,
years.
They're nothing without us. But if you were going to take any more of their players, who would be your pick?
Do you know what? I thought about this and I found it quite difficult to say. And I'm going to chuck a name right at you because he has been linked with us. Evan Ferguson.
Nah. I'd rather João Pedro.
I quite like João Pedro as well.
I've always
Ex-Watford
been
player.
a fan. I've always been a fan of João Pedro. Ex-Watford boy. Watford boy.
Yeah,
Watford boys in the house.
represent.
Yeah.
He was very good for Watford. In fact, all of my friends that are Watford fans were absolutely gutted. That was probably their worst sale as a Watford club for a long time.
I had about a season of rooting for Watford. Do you know
you?
why?
Tell me.
Who was at the helm?
I was going to say Elton John, but
Zola.
Gianfranco.
Gianfranco
He was. Do you
Zola.
know what? It was that. I think Zola was the manager during that Deeney goal, wasn't he?
He could have been.
There was a moment that I remember, and I
Who
remember
was
this
the guy
very
that
vividly.
missed the penalty for the Deeney goal?
That was Knockhart. Anthony Knockhart.
Anthony Knockhart.
Who
that's it,
also
yeah.
played for Brighton, by the way.
Ah.
There you go. We're all connecting all the dots.
There we go.
But there was a moment, wasn't there, where Gianfranco Zola, I remember this very vividly, he sort of celebrated and then sort of like fell over and his coaching staff picked him up for Watford. It was a very good moment. Gianfranco.
Did he do it
what a player.
stylishly?
Oh, he did everything stylishly, Gianfranco.
Yeah, falling star.
I
He's
miss him.
had the old hair transplant.
Yeah, well, good
Who
on him.
hasn't, mate?
Well, Antonio's had 3, hasn't he? Bless him. Antonio Conte.
Oh God, yeah.
Have you seen that? There was one, and then the one got worse, and then there was a second one, and now it looks brilliant.
Mate, Rooney's had about 30.
I know, I rate it.
Yeah.
I rate it.
Mental.
Yeah.
Mental. Cole Palmer has become the first player since Frankie Lampard or Harry Kane to be an Englishman that bagged 30 goals and assists in a 38 game Premier League season. Sorry, it took me a while.
Was
to
it
get that one
31?
out.
It's 31 now, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, it was I read that really badly. Basically, Frankie Lampard and Harry Kane, the only 2 English players to have bagged over 30 goals and assists in a 38 game Premier League season. Cole Palmer has now joined them. What a player.
Unreal. Unreal. How lucky are we to have him? When you
Very
look at the stats without him, it's actually terrifying. Like, we would be near relegation form.
Do you think
Even
do you think he'll replicate the same numbers next season?
now, there's always a fact of second season syndrome where people find you out and try and stop you from playing in the
Say
way
that
you're
quick
playing.
again.
Second season syndrome.
Say it
Second
really quick.
season syndrome.
Second season syndrome.
I can't. I'm so shit at those tongue twisters. I think that people will find him out and he won't get the space that he had this season in between the lines. But it's going to be interesting next year about where he plays because let's be honest, he's got to be the first name on the team sheet, hasn't he? Behind Nicholas Jackson and Moises Caicedo.
Yeah, and Malo Stone and Cucurella. Nah, yeah, he's the first on the team sheet. He is, yeah.
He's the first name. So what I'm going to be interested in next season when we've got all of these players and we've got a new number 9 potentially as well, is where they're all going to fit in the front 4 because Christopher Nkunku, big money, he's going to want to play.
Yeah.
And I think he probably wants to play as number 10, but maybe he's better on the wing. So I don't know where Cole's going to play. If he plays centrally, it will have to be very different. And teams will find it difficult to mark him because he wouldn't have been playing there as much this season, if that makes sense. So maybe there won't be as much of the second season syndrome.
I think that I would back Cole Palmer's ability to adapt his game ever so slightly in his second season. If he finished with 25 goals and assists in the Premier League next season, I wouldn't be disappointed because I just feel like next season we are going to have so many more goals from different areas. And this is something Brighton do very well. So I was looking at their sort of goals. They chip in with goals from everywhere.
They do.
Midfield, defence, they chip in from everywhere.
They really
and
do.
obviously, when you look at our numbers this season, a massive, massive sort of portion, percentage of our goals have obviously come from that man, Cole Palmer, whether he's scoring them, assisting them. Or
Only
giving the old-
second, Mikhailo Mudryk, very close seconds.
Who is second for goals and assists?
It's obviously Nicholas Jackson is then second.
Jacko, yeah.
Yeah.
Jacko.
And
This
then,
is what I'm
and then I
saying.
think it's Raheem third, by the way.
Yeah, and bearing in mind he hasn't scored bar any other day since God knows how long.
Yeah.
So, but between Cole Palmer, the old Jacko Raban, and a few others, the numbers are going to go up. Look, Nkunku, he's not going to finish next season with 5 goals and assists to his name, is he? He's going to finish next season with 15, maybe even 20. You know, Madueke, you'd expect
Osman 38 goals. Yeah.
Mad, mental. We're going to be up there, aren't we?
We
are going to be up there. But this game is massively, massively important because, look, Spurs will more than likely lose to Manchester City. Is that tonight?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is, as we're recording, yeah.
Yeah. And Spurs on the final day could lose again.
So I've said this in my video, right? And I got a lot of banter about that, about how Sheffield United basically are the worst team in the league for a good reason. They've conceded over 100 goals. So people
Is that
are
who
going,
Spurs got on the last day?
yes. And
Didn't
it's
they
away.
have them on the opening day?
I don't know.
Brentford, 2-2.
Yeah.
Go on.
But it's away. And I just think, you know what relegated teams, the pressure's off now.
Pressure's off.
They're relegated.
Pressure's off.
Right?
Go and do your thing, boys.
And the last game of the
hold
season.
on. We've always liked them, haven't we?
We've always liked them.
We've always liked Sheffield United.
Spurs are out there in the training camp, by the way, flying kites. Emerson Royale flying kites. What the fuck is going on there? But you have to say, there is absolutely a chance. We're same goal difference as Spurs, by the way. There is absolutely a chance where they lose 4-0 against Man City, 5-0. And then they're playing Sheffield United. Sheffield United get a goal. Diaz in the last minute. Berriton Diaz. I love. By the way, can I just say, if we could sign anyone from Sheffield United, or actually any relegated team, I would sign Berriton Diaz.
Do you remember
He's got
when
a story about it.
Sheffield United had Carl Walker right back and Carl Norton left back?
Yes.
And I remember looking at the two of them and thinking they were like for like, just as good as each other. God, what happened to Carl Norton?
Yeah, what happened?
What
to
did
them?
happen?
They've had some classic players. Do you remember Lundstrom played for?
No.
Mate, if you're a fancy, you don't play fancy football, do you?
No.
Lundstrom was this player that was playing he was called a defender, but he was playing pretty much as a winger / up front. He bagged loads of goals, got loads of points in fancy football. So he's a Sheffield United.
Ched
legend.
Evans, he used to bang goals for
Ched
Sheffield
Evans,
United.
he did. Well, what is he up to these days?
Oh God.
Prison FC.
No, he's a good lad.
He's
Ched.
playing for Chesterfield, or someone like that, I think.
Yeah. He was decent championship sort of.
But come on,
League.
Sheffield, come on, do us a favour.
But this is what I was trying to say is like, if Spurs lose both their games and we win both our games, it's not mathematically impossible for us to finish 5th still.
I would say it's likely. It could happen.
Where do you think we're finishing?
I think we're going to finish 6th.
Right.
I think, and I'm going to...
So you think there's going to be a draw
Remember
in the Man United Newcastle?
So I'm going to say it now. They don't have Isak or Wilson, by the way, for that Man United game. And Brian is going to absolutely hate me for saying this, but I think there's a weird chance, because you know what football's like. I think there's a weird chance that Man United, that's the result that they do them. Yeah.
But then Man United finish above us.
They're not. Man United are going to do us a favour where they beat Newcastle, they lose on the final day, which is incidentally also against Brighton.
Brighton, isn't it? Yeah.
So they lose on the final day, and then we finish in. Yeah, we'll finish in 6th. What do you think? I don't want to finish in 7th. By the way,
I think a draw in the Newcastle against Man United game. Yeah, I think the most likely is that both Spurs and Newcastle finish above us.
Yes.
That is because I do think Newcastle will win on the final day. But yeah, man, listen, I don't. Me and KG was arguing over this yesterday. For me, it's like win the league, qualify for the Champions League, qualify for Europe, finish above Man United. That's like my final straw.
But
once
based
all
on
else goes, finish above Man United.
But based on your logic, Newcastle get 1 point in the United game, then win the last game. That only gives them 4 more points. That's on 61. I think we'll finish on 63 points. I think we'll win our last 2.
I've never claimed to be good at maths.
Yeah. So if we win our last 2 games, we'll finish above.
Jacob was scaring me a bit on the kickoff yesterday
Why?
because he was saying that what a good side Bournemouth are. And I was like, eh,
They are
Bournemouth.
good.
They're all
It's at home,
right,
though.
like-
It's at home last game of the
All
season.
right, but on the beach, aren't they?
They got
I mean,
nothing
they're
to
always
play
on
for.
the fucking beach. It's Bournemouth.
Exactly, literally.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Point proven.
No, but as in, if we do get those 6 points, which I think is entirely conceivable, we will finish above Newcastle.
Yeah.
So, mate, 6. We need to finish in 6th because, again, there is a very small chance that Man United win the FA Cup. Don't say that too
They ain't
loudly.
winning that. They ain't winning
There's a
that.
small chance.
Well, they're in the finals, so there's always a chance.
Yeah.
But not for me. I'm sorry. Last game, obviously against Nottingham Forest, we had Sterling, Nkunku, Ugachukwu, Reece James, Levi Colwell, and Malo Gusto, all on the bench.
Best bench we've had all season, I'd say.
Oh my God, unreal bench, unreal. God, if they did open top bus parades for benches,
That would be the one.
that's a fault. That's a fault, isn't it?
Yeah, let's do it.
We could set one up.
We need one. We need
Bench
to know
of the season.
Bus. Yeah.
Out of those guys that I've just named, Sterling, Nkunku, Ugachukwu, Reece James, Levi Colwell, and Malo Gusto, before we get into your official starting lineup or our official starting lineup, who do you think out of those guys I've just named is closest to making a first team return, being in a starting lineup?
For the next game, I would probably say Malo Gusto because I don't think they're going to gamble with Reece James or put him in from the start straight away.
I think you're wrong.
You think they could gamble?
No, I think Nkunku.
Yeah,
He's probably closest, isn't he?
but it's weird though because he didn't play that well when he came on. He didn't play amazingly.
No,
He didn't
but
look.
he's
He
not-
didn't look unreal.
He's
And do you
neither
know
run of
what? Like,
games.
what was it that Palace game that we won 3-1 that Nkunku came on? Went up top. Do you remember that?
So, do you know what game always sticks out at me? But yes, you're right. That is the game. I actually think he started that game. No, are you on about the away game or the home game?
I'm talking about the Disassi celebration.
Yeah,
in the
I don't
away
think he
game.
started that. I think he
did.
started the home game
Yeah.
against Palace when Madueke scored. But what I would say is I always just remember the cup game when your boy Mikhailo Mudryk pounced on Trippier's mistake and we knocked Newcastle out of the cup. And Nkunku came on in that match and he was just gliding around. I thought, oh, he's a classy little fella, he is.
Yeah, yeah. Look, he's got that in it. Like let's be honest, mate. We signed this guy to be like basically a Galactico-esque player. We needed him to be straight in the team and playing, and he does have that ability. But I do think at the moment he's slightly worried about the injuries, and so he isn't going 100%. So I rate it, and I would love to see him play more because do you know what? In a weird way, I just want to see him how good he is.
Yeah.
That's like because at the moment we don't actually know how good he is.
I got a sneaky feeling he's pretty good.
I've heard.
Yeah. So right, okay. So on screen right now, you can see our starting lineup that we've actually agreed on for this one.
Yeah.
Obviously, look, Petrovic is always going to keep his spot in goal, and we have opted for Malo Gusto at right back.
Yeah, that was a hard one for me because I would love to see Reece in the team, as we say. But and also, do you know what, mate? I think Trevor's played pretty well on the right hand side as well.
He has, but it's been a stopgap.
It's been a cover job. But so I found this quite difficult. So I do think if you're ranking those in terms of like fitness and then availability and how good they are, at the moment Gusto would probably start. But I would love to. Maybe they're going to gamble with the Reece James goal. Maybe they're going to gamble with Reece.
So the only real surprise we've got in there, in comparison to our last couple of starting lineups that Pochettino and Chelsea have fielded, is that obviously we are dropping Noni Madueke. We're bringing in Nkunku into the number 10, and we're putting Cole Palmer back out on the right with Mudryk over on the other side and Jackson through the middle.
Yeah.
Fair to drop Madueke after the last game and with Nkunku returning?
I think we're going to get absolute pelters for this decision.
Really?
To be honest with you, yeah, I think it's a hard one. Look,
He's been a big player for us recently.
The rationale for Madueke, I suppose, is that game against Forest, he was pretty anonymous, wasn't he?
He has a few like that, though. He does have games like that.
But that's in a weird way where you go, okay, well, then you're going to get dropped. If you have games where you're not right at it, 100%, then you deserve to come out of the team.
Elephant in the room?
Elephant in the room is Mikhailo Mudryk because he's done exactly that quite a few times.
So why would we not have Nkunku over on the left wing and have Palmer in the 10 and Madueke on there? What is your rationale behind having Mykhailo Mudryk start this
So,
game.
let me go through the entire three to explain this. So, Cole Palmer, let's be honest, his best role that we've seen this season has been off the right.
Well, you argue that it's a 10.
I argue that he is the best as a 10, but I feel in the system that we've played this season, he's best off the right. I feel like we've seen a lot of goals from him off the right.
I think the first time I would have ever seen Cole Palmer off of the right, I couldn't even tell you when. Probably when he came on in that game against Nottingham Forest at Stamford Bridge early on in the season. And I always remember thinking, you're putting him anywhere just to get him on the pitch sort of thing. He's not a right winger. I think he plays well off there, and you'd probably look at his sort of goal contributions and, percentage-wise, because he hasn't played in the 10 that much, but percentage-wise, they do come more off the right wing. So I can sort of see it, but, going forward, I think that the main thing that I want from our front line is fluidity, versatility, and the ability to interchange anyway. Yeah. So I don't think it's that necessary that we need to be regimented to certain areas of the pitch. As long as you're all in cahoots,
That was a little poem. Have you practiced that?
Yeah. Straight off the cuff.
You're basically a freestyle rapper.
I'm like a modern day Shakespeare.
You are, yeah. Mixed with, I don't know, Eminem.
Ali G.
Yeah, Ali G. Yeah, exactly. Look, I think that Cole Palmer will get goals on the right-hand side. I think that Christopher Nkunku is best probably centrally. I think he probably wants to play centrally. And what I like about putting him centrally is you've got the interplay between him and Jackson. We saw that in pre-season work so well.
It did work very well.
And also, do you remember that goal that Nkunku scored against Liverpool?
Love it, yeah, wriggled out.
Oh, wriggled out, beat like 5 players pretty much in the box. He's only doing that from central positions. Like, basically, when you pick the ball up wide, you've got to beat 1 or 2, but then get a shot off. I think he's probably one of those best sort of like short dribblers that you need in a cam role to be able to do it, and that's why I'm putting him there. The rationale behind Mudryk, and fair enough, right? I probably deserve a load of pelters for this because Sterling comes on and scores a wonder goal. Makes us all look absolutely stupid. A lot of people now are saying that we need Sterling's experience in the team and that he should be staying. On £325 a week.
Exactly. He's got to go against Forest.
Exactly. And that's the counter to that point. And the reason, and I've said this on the show before, but the reason why I like Mudryk there is that he will track back and support Cucurella. And you do need some like recovery pace to be able to play that role.
He's got pace.
That's probably one of the main things he has got.
So great hair.
Great. I love the new ponytail look.
I don't like it.
I think he's grown it out and it's in that stage where it's sort of half grown out and it's just not quite there.
And if you're doing that, just come out and say, because the fan base are wondering.
Just get the hairbands, Mykhailo. Just bring in the hairbands.
You know what he does do?
Tell me.
If Cucurella is inverting, he does keep sort of, by the touchline, adds that width to us, because if not, we're a one side of the pitch team.
Raheem isn't doing that, is he? Raheem isn't sticking to the touchline, tracking back, making tackles. Like, mate, honestly, if we had Raheem Sterling in this team, I don't think we would have won some of the games that we'd won recently.
Because this would be really controversial because he's scored the fucking equaliser. But if we have Raheem Sterling starting this team, I don't think we're beating Nottingham Forest.
No, I agree.
But that would sound mental, isn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like he literally is one of the main contributing factors as to why we beat them.
Yeah.
But
in a weird way, Raheem Sterling coming off the bench, using his sort of fresh legs to then beat a fullback, which is a bit tired, cutting inside and shooting, that's kind of the stage of his career that he's in now. Do you know? Like, that's kind of what we need from Raheem. And let's be honest, mate, you and I both think that he's gone. So why are you playing in the last couple of games of the season? I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't go,
I wouldn't be surprised either. But I think it would be a mistake.
It would be, but I don't know. You can't have a bench player. You can't have a guy that you're bringing on off the bench, £325 a week. And do you know what's mad? Like, early stages of the season, Sterling was looking good, man. Sterling did look good, didn't he? So
I do, let's be honest, mate, as well. We've talked about this quite a lot. Jackson is going to go over to the left-hand side next season. Yeah. So if Jackson's on the left, we don't need Mykhailo, and Mykhailo isn't going anywhere. No. You don't need Mykhailo and Raheem. So, sorry.
Also, you've got to bear in mind that Pochettino, although he's probably, in a way, almost folded to a bit of fan pressure, he does like to tinker. You could even see Chile playing on that left wing next season. We've seen it this season.
100%. If you think about it as well, like with Chilwell being there, we've got a lot of squad depth on the left hand side. If you think about it, like Jackson can go and slot in there. Like we've got good players there now.
A lot of videos going around about Chile at the minute, isn't there?
Yeah, bless him.
He didn't deserve that. Do you know what I'm on about?
No, I don't know.
Oh,
I'm talking about the mental health awareness video that he did. So
oh no,
yeah, there
I
you
want
go.
on about that. I
Yeah.
want about that bird saying, "Oh, Chelsea player inboxed me."
oh god, that was ages ago.
Oh, well, it's only just popped up on my TikTok.
Only just come up on your TikTok.
You
Come
never
back
messaged
round.
me, oh
Come-
Chilwell.
Yeah,
I'm up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor old boy. We've all done it.
So how do we think this game's going? Score prediction?
We've all done it.
We've all done it. We've all done it.
Score prediction. Pessimist me would go 1-1, but do you know what? Fuck it. We're smashing everyone at the moment. Let's go 3-1.
Let's go with 5-0 at the Amex.
Yeah, why not?
Wednesday night, little Wednesday night, 5-0.
Why not? We
No.
can exploit their midfield. We can.
Yeah, I think so. Do you know what surprised me about Brighton? I did think they would end this season with a player that I hadn't have heard of on, a price tag of 60, 70 million or something. And it doesn't look like they're going to, unless someone comes and pays that for Evan Ferguson. But do you rate him that highly? I mean,
I don't particularly rate him that highly, but
he's better than
obviously the
Hoyland.
scouts,
He's better than Hoyland.
I think there's an argument to say he is. I think there is. Like, mate, the scouts and the data scientists out here really rate Evan Ferguson. They've seen something that we don't see. And that's all I'm judging it on, to be honest with you. Right. Because, mate, he hasn't even played. I looked at the stats, by the way. He hasn't even played that much. I think he's played like...
He hasn't played a lot at all.
I think he's played like 20 appearances, but he's only got like 1,000 odd minutes, which is like the same amount as Madueke. It's not a lot this season at all. He hasn't played much.
And what about De Zerbi, just to cap it off? Do you think he'll be at Brighton next season? I think he wanted that Liverpool job, didn't he?
I think he wants the Bayern job more than anything, to be fair. Yeah.
What is it? And is he in contention for that?
Well, they've not got many other options. By the way, on this, there's rumoured today come out that Tommy might be staying. Tommy might be still there.
I mean, mate, he's been beat to the league title by invincible potential treble winners.
Yeah.
It's not,
mate,
it's not the worst going, is it?
Xabi Alonso has got to be up there now as best manager in the world right now. You have to say, to do the Invincibles. Even Pep can't do the Invincibles.
Mental.
With City.
Do you think Xabi Alonso will be like the next one to join Pep, Klopp, the elite managers, Ancelotti?
I think you could argue that Arteta is that next one. But then how can you put...
Who's a better player, though?
We know who's the better player.
I mean...
Xabi Alonso
I don't think Xabi Alonso would have been playing for Everton.
No, or Rangers.
No.
Yeah,
Rangers, I
Yeah.
forgot that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did always like Pep. Arteta, sorry, as a player, though. Like,
thought he was all right.
I used to quite like him.
Yeah.
Everton had some good players.
Mate, that Everton squad.
Arteta, yeah. Kale,
Yeah.
Pina, a bit of Leon Osman off the
Yeah,
bench.
yeah,
Fancy that? Yes, please. Duncan
Who was
Ferguson.
the striker? Was it Big Dunk that was the striker at that time?
Anichebe,
Anichebe, yeah. They had a good team.
Yeah.
Was that Moisey? That was the Moisey era.
Would have been Moises.
End of Moisey era.
Moises.
Moises.
What's his matey that took the free kicks? He was always good, Leighton Baines.
Leighton Baines, yeah. Coleman at the right back.
Sylvan Distan.
Tim
Howard.
They had a good team.
Ooh, it's Premier League royalty, innit?
Yeah. That was a good team. Mate, this is what I mean. Moisey can assemble a squad.
Good man.
Just saying it.
Good man.
De Zerbi, my long and short of it is that I do think that De Zerbi's stock has gone down this season quite extensively. And I don't necessarily think that's his fault. I think it's the squad.
Tell you, stock never goes down.
Tell me.
A Veste apparel.
Oh, stop it.
Lovely t-shirt.
Nice t-shirt.
Lovely t-shirt I've got on.
Yeah.
What's this? Go on, sell it.
There you go. Sell it. That is by
Sell it.
That is by a brand called Club, which is a beautiful brand, streetwear brand based in Bristol. Very, very nice. That is a heavyweight fabric as well.
Great place,
beautiful.
Bristol.
And then my
What do they
t-shirt,
call it?
Club.
Little Venice of England.
Little
you said,
Venice,
isn't it?
yeah, more canals than anywhere else, other than Birmingham. Apparently, that's what I've heard.
There you go.
And then this one that I'm wearing is a Saint Loco top, which is absolutely stunning. Look at it. That is the Chelsea blue. I mean, this is basically a Chelsea kit that I'm wearing right now.
More or less.
Yeah,
More or less.
yeah.
Yeah. Where can they get it?
Well, I've heard that you can get it on a Veste apparel. All you need to do is a veste.co.uk. Just stop it.
How do they even get to a Veste?
Mate, it's quite.
apparel?
Do you know what? It's actually it's quite secretive. Actually,
Yeah.
you've got to be on the waiting list to sort of get involved on a Veste. You know, you don't just get a t-shirt for free.
We should just give them like a link they can click or something, though. Surely, no.
Mate,
Oh,
wait,
it's one in the description.
Shut up!
Oh, fuck off!
How dare you?
That is brilliant. Great stuff.
Go and check it out.
Don't say we don't treat you. See you in the next one.